Guys, welcome back to 100% Mark. So hope you're all staying safe and well out there. So the images have circulated around on Twitter, and Newcastle United signing Sandro Tonali is on his way to Newcastle today, as the images are circulating from, of course, Antonio Vitero on Twitter, a very credible reporter for Milan, and he has, of course, captured footage of Sandro Tonali going into Lente Airport in Milan, and he is now on his way to Newcastle. There's also, if you go onto Flight Tracker, for the plane watchers out there who will know that website quite well, if you go on there now, of course, you will see that there is a flight going from Milan to Newcastle. As you can see, the flight up on screen now, of course, and that is coming to Newcastle. That is Sandro Tonali's plane, and he will be landing in Newcastle to complete his media work for Newcastle, and of course to get them pictures that we have all been waiting to see of Sandro Tonali wearing a Newcastle United shirt. So that is massive news. Also, talking about transfers as well, Newcastle are being linked with a move for 18-year-old wonder kid of Ireland, Kevin Zeffy, of course, and he is also based in Milan, as he plays for AC Milan's rivals, Inter Milan, of course, their under team, and he has been doing really well for the unders of Inter Milan, of course. As you can see, he's only 18 years old. He also signed for Inter Milan Primavera, of course, and he has been there for a little while now. He joined on the 1st of November 2022, and in his time there for the under 18s B, last season he scored 16 times out of 13 starts. For the under 17s B, in the 21-22 campaign, he scored 6 times out of 18 starts. So far in his career, he has had 53 games, and he has scored 23 times. He's quite a versatile player as well. Kevin Ziffo, of course, with him being able to play the second striker role, the centre forward role, the attacking midfield role, and the left wing as well. But he has played quite a lot in the second striker role, just playing off of that striker. And in 19 games that he's played there, he's scored 16 times. Obviously a one for the future. But it is, again, another fantastic player that we are looking at to build that youth team up once again. We've seen so many brilliant talents coming into Newcastle through Dan Ashworth's scouting network, and the way we are building that youth team, we are going to have a hell of a team ahead in the future. When you look past the first team, we're still going to have an absolutely fantastic youth team, and that is what you see with Man City as well in other European elite clubs. You know, not only do they have fantastic first teams, fantastic benches, but they also have a fantastic youth setup. They also have so much quality coming through their youth team that they can be self-sustainable alone, just off of selling youth talent out on loan or selling them off to other clubs in Europe and around the world. So this is, again, you know, another player that Newcastle are definitely looking at. We're trying to bring in, you know, and I can't say that I've seen him play because he's only a young lad, but I'm sure, you know, judging by them stats there, you know, that he is going to be an absolutely sensational player. Moving on to another piece of transfer news as well, that is going around at the moment, and it is that Newcastle are in talks or looking at Harvey Barnes. He is a player that we are looking to bring in, of course, and I'm sure there's quite a few people that will be after Harvey Barnes after the way he's played at Leicester, of course, and with Leicester now being down in the Championship, you know, there's going to be quite a few people in there trying to get as much as they can out of Leicester, of their best talent that they've got. It's the best time, really, and unfortunately for Leicester fans, this is what happens when you do get relegated. You do start to see your players being poached up by other clubs around Europe or in the Premier League, because, you know, at the end of the day, you can't let that kind of talent just waste away in the Championship. So we'll see what happens with that one on the Harvey Barnes side of things, and see if we actually do happen to bring him into the club. But Fraser Fletcher here saying, spoke about Harvey Barnes being a target for Newcastle previously. Perfect player in many respects for Eddie Howe, and one that now is gathering more momentum. So, of course, he's coming out and saying that it is gathering more momentum. And talking about the women's side of the game as well, the women have just put out a massive piece of news for any young Newcastle United fan out there, for the female side, of course, who might want to be a footballer for the women's team, or, you know, want to get their chance in football. Then Newcastle United women are holding a massive, massive opportunity where they are running 2 talent ID days for their development side on Tuesday the 11th and Thursday the 13th of July. You register, of course, your interest at the link, of course, on the Newcastle United women's Twitter account. The closing date for the applications is Sunday the 9th of July, so you've got to be quick to get in there if you want, of course, to have a chance to play in the famous black and white for the Newcastle United women. Then that is a massive opportunity right there for any young girl that has been aspiring to be a footballer. Then there's your chance. Get yourself in there. You never know. You could be pulling on the black and white shirt at St James's Park like so many of the other lasses have done in the last few times they've been there. Till next time, remember to like, share, subscribe to 100% Mags, and I'll see you all next time. However, lads.